I'm live. Hello. I do this every week. It shouldn't really be a great surprise to me, should it? Hi everyone. How are you? It's um it's very sunny here. You can see coming through my window, which I have the glare, so I hope it's not too distracting. It's not a beautiful glow. It is literally just the glare of the sun. Let me see if that works a wee bit better. No, 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 no. All right. So we are live Wednesday, live at 5. Training. This week we are talking all about food for happy hormones. So, you know the drill by now. For the newbies that don't know the drill by now, we do these trainings every single week, 5 o'clock, and might not be next week because I'm going to be somewhere not very good signal, but I'll get to that and update you all. It's me talking about a specific topic that I'll let you all know about on Monday or Tuesday, depending on how well my brain is working. So you come in. If you're watching me live, give me a hashtag live, and if you're catching up on replay, give me a hashtag replay. I try and make these as interactive as possible, so it just isn't just me like bleh, bleh, downloading everything. So if you guys have got questions as I'm going through, put them in the comments. I am doing this from my laptop rather than my phone, so I can see comments coming up. There's normally a bit of a lag, but not too bad. And this is all, I do these, these are to benefit you guys, everybody, whether you're a current client, not yet a client, past client, never going to be a client. I want to give as much value as possible that is going to help people with what they're dealing with just now, what challenges they're facing in terms of their fat loss or their hormonal health, or whether it's their normal health or mental health, whatever. And it's something that I'm very passionate about because it's so easy to get caught up in little fads and keto groups and intermittent fasting groups, and even there are specific menopause groups out there that there are unqualified people telling people what to do with their diet and their health without any interaction with that person. That really, really F's me off. So yeah, anyway, but before I go into happy hormone foods and happy hormone health, we are having a big celebration. We have hit that 3,000 people in the group mark, which is tremendous. I'm delighted. So anybody who has a friend or a family member who is struggling, they might be struggling with their weight, they might just be struggling with self-esteem, they might not be struggling at all, they just want to lose some weight. Invite them in. You have got, I don't actually know where you do it, but you can share the link or you can invite people in to join. So bring them all in. It's a nice, safe environment. And yeah, we're all here to help. Another wee update for you. So I think most of you will know that we have Clara, who is our head coach here, that she comes in the group and does some trainings and some updates from time to time. But we have a specialist that has joined us, and her name is Megan, and that is M-A-E, Megan. And Megan is from America. American Megan. So she is our community support specialist. So she's going to be in the group an awful lot, pointing in the right direction, indicating which training you should be looking at, helping you out if you've got any questions. So there you go. She's in the comments saying hello. Hi, Megan. So that's a huge update as well. So I'm really happy to have Megan on board. What else did I want to share? Yes, so I'm going to do a post about this later, but for some of the older members, not older in age, but longer in tenure, I have done in the past quite a lot, can't even remember, but maybe definitely over 100, some 5-day mini courses, mini 5-day nutrition courses, which have really helped women drop a few pounds and help educate them about nutrition and health and hormones. And there's not so much exercise because it's only 5 days. If you would be interested in participating in one of them in September, please give me a yes in the comments below. I'm only going to do this if I can get enough people to do it, and even just people in the side there, if I can get an indication of yes, then that will help me get that scheduled. It'll be in September for when the schools go back for sure, because everybody's too caught up in buying shirts and shoes and whatnot. And also, I had a win this week with school shoes, in and out within 15 minutes for school shoes. That's the quickest in however many years Archie's been at school. So yes, happy days, yay. Right, so my lovelies, I need to find my notes. I've got lots of notes. So happy hormone foods. Now, taking a step back, hormones. I'm talking primarily about our sex hormones and how they decline as we age. So from about the age 38-ish onwards, we have two main things happening to us. We have our sexual hormones are reducing, so estrogen and progesterone primarily, they start declining. And we also have our metabolism starting to slow down as well. So the quickest and easiest way I can explain that is when your hormones change, it typically means our behaviours change, because we get tired, we get grumpy, we start relying on quick fixes like sugar and things and more alcohol, and we have less sleep, and all of these things combined makes it easier to gain weight. And also the changes in our hormones change where we store fat. So you could get through 30, 40 years of your life, 41 years of your life with a beautiful flat stomach, nice nipped in waist, and then boom, suddenly you notice this growth around your middle. That is sometimes called the meno middle. I've heard it called that. I've heard it called many other things, maybe not repeatable for today. So where we store fat changes, and it typically tends to sit more around our middle. So that's one thing. But our metabolism slowing down also means it's harder for us to lose body fat. So those two things created are a lovely perfect storm of blech, blech. So that's your reason why. Now, changing our behaviours is the paramount way to go, and that might mean, we might need to look at what we're eating, how much alcohol we're drinking, are we moving enough, are we getting enough sleep, are we minimising stress, are we maximising time, are we actually looking after our bodies and treating ourselves right. Now, side note, treating ourselves right does not mean being a lazy ass and doing nothing, or continually ducking out of workouts, or ducking out of meal prep, or ducking out of things that you know are going to help you move forward. That's not what taking care of yourself actually is. So when we look at food, and I'm not going to call it a menopause friendly, because most people I think in this group are probably of the perimenopausal stage, and that's just a huge generalization, but we need to pay more attention to our diet now more than ever, and it's not just for weight reasons, okay? So when we start noticing energy maybe is declining and the weight's coming on, and we have higher irritability, and I'm trying to think of the right word, we basically lose the will to live sometimes, that's when we might start noticing that we go for easy options. It's easy to open a bottle of wine to de-stress. It's easy to open a family bag of crisps when you're sitting watching a movie. It's easy to not meal prep in order to do the ironing or something. There's always a trade-off, especially if you're when you're working and whatnot. So basically, we want to be thinking of our diet and be really, really honest. Think like a balanced diet. Think balanced food choices. Now, there's loads of reasons why we need to have a balanced diet, and that balanced diet does not mean going keto. By the way, people, don't do it. It makes your farts stink awful, and it's the thought of never eating a bread-based product again just fills me with the horrors. So no, absolutely no need. But we also need to look at protecting our bones, at the same time as all these hormone changes and metabolism changes, our bone density is declining as well, which then puts us at a higher risk for immobility as we age, or inability to get up if we fall, which we don't want to happen. That's really important. So we need to look at things like we have to make sure we're getting enough calcium, we're getting enough vitamin D to keep our bones strengthened, We all see old ladies, like old ladies, who haven't looked after themselves, and for many, many different reasons. Education, culture, society are up there, but really hunched over, very weak, frail, and this is another reason why strength training is so important as well. So we also know that as we age, maintaining a healthy weight is hugely important, because when we do hit menopause and we start getting, if we start getting some of the effects like your hot flushes or inability to sleep, being overweight actually can make that worse. And then you've got the vicious circle of, you're not getting enough sleep. Therefore, your cortisol levels are higher. Therefore, it's harder for you to lose body fat. But because you're not losing weight, you're getting more stressed. Then you start going in this all or nothing. I'll starve myself, and then you can't. Once you get into that process, you can't help but binge at some point. You might call it something else, but essentially, it's this all or nothing type approach to your food. So yeah, we need to make sure we're not carrying too much body fat to protect us going into menopause, and also help with any joint and muscular pain moving forward. And also from a mood point of view, eating crap food makes you feel crap. It makes you feel crap. It doesn't give you that quick fix of endorphin or dopamine hit, so it's that immediate like, oh, I want it, oh, I'm gonna have it, that's amazing. No, now I feel crap. When you combine that physical effect of feeling crap with the emotional side of feeling crap, because you maybe feel you failed, or you've been so good for 2 weeks, and then you've just derailed your progress by a family packet of kettle chips. Always come back to kettle chips and Kit Kat, ladies. I don't know why. So we want to keep our mood and our energy levels high without the sugary snacks. We want to be able to maintain a nice even keel, because we do get irritable, and when we get more tired, we get more irritable, etc., etc. Okay, so foods that are going to help from a calcium point of view from our joints. So you've got your dairy products, your milks, your cheeses, your yogurts, and that includes like your low fat options. So they're lower in calories, because they're lower in fat, but they still have protein in them for the most part, especially if you're thinking of things like Greek yogurt, and they still have calcium in them, so very important. Now, other areas to get your calcium from, and these also are really important from an overall hormone level, not just from a calcium level, is green leafy veg. All right, so think of your cabbages, your cauliflowers, your broccolis. All of these types of things actually have a lot of calcium in them, but they're very estrogen friendly as well. So as our estrogen is depleted, we need to help support that boost as much as possible. Calcium and good fats coming from things like oily fish, so your sardines, kippers, what else? Tuna, under oily fish, salmon. So they're your mob for your healthy good fats. And also on the note of fats, women typically don't eat enough fat in their diet. Again, it comes back, a lot of it comes down to preconceived ideas of when you were probably a child, actually, because if you think back to your parents' era of dieting, everything was low fat. Low fat, low fat, low fat, low fat, low fat. Miller Lights, Flora, Vitalite, nothing in any fat. So women tend to typically therefore have a very low protein diet, because they're told not to eat meat, and a very high carb diet. So one thing that I can urge you to do is just look at your overall fat content and make sure that you are getting enough fat in your diet, and that can be a really easy win to help with fat loss. So again, calcium, nuts, tofu, soy, some breakfast cereals, but I generally have a bit of a love-hatred relationship with breakfast cereals. Some actually have, like folic acid, they have it fortified. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of breakfast cereals. They're full of sugar. It's like, I think it was the Jamie Oliver thing a few years ago, and it was Cheerios, and he was asking parents to pour what their child's portion of Cheerios was, and when they looked at the sugar content, it was like sending your kid to school having eaten 6 ring donuts, which I think we can all agree is not a good brain for learning. If it's anything like my child who gets jacked up in sugar, not good for learning. So just be very careful with your breakfast cereals, highly calorific. Anyway, vitamin D. Now, there's a kind of general rule. Anything further north than Birmingham maybe needs a little bit of support from a vitamin D point of view. Now, vitamin D helps our bodies absorb calcium, but we tend to not get enough of it here in the UK. So we can get vitamin D from the sunshine, or we can get vitamin D from supplementation if needed. So I do take a vitamin D, and if it's right for our clients, we will recommend a vitamin D supplement, especially through the winter months. And you can easily get vitamin D on Holland & Barrett, probably most supermarkets actually. But do your research and make sure it's right for you. I'm not here to recommend for everyone. You have to do your own research on that one as well. Vitamin D foods, again, oily fish is good, red meat, eggs, and some cereals. Don't eat the cereal. Coach Clara is absolutely obsessed by Aldi's protein granola. Absolutely obsessed, and hopefully she'll come in. My mother is in this group recommending Crave to everyone. That's what she gives my child, Crave. So I grew up eating mung beans and homegrown veg and home-reared chickens, and she gives Archie Crave for supper. I'm shaming you right now, Mother. So it's hard in the UK to get your vitamin D from sunshine alone, and especially in the west coast of Scotland. Some weeks I don't think we probably get any. But you know, if you're inside a lot, or you're somewhere that's always grey and cloudy and miserable, then consider supplementation. Sugar, huge topic. I've spoken to at least 5 people in the last week who have a self-imposed sugar addiction. Now, sugar addiction is not actually a thing. Okay, so yes, we get a physiological reaction to the effects of sugar. It's dopamine. It's all in the brain. But as a physical addiction, not so much. Okay, but the thing with sugar is it's easy and it tastes good. There's no getting away that sweet things are very palatable and they make us crave and want more because it gives us that immediate hit. However, when our hormones are changing and our metabolism changing, we lose motivation and we lose energy, and it's, you know, we end up wanting the easy quick fix, and that's why typically we start reaching for the sugar because it is handy. You know, it's easy to go into the fridge and pull out a twirl or a donut or some Crave or whatever it is. But as a nation, current research is telling us that every single one of us is eating about double the amount of refined sugar that we should be every single day. Okay, and there's obviously a lot of research going on. Now, I want to be very clear that I do not recommend that people quit sugar, right? I think it's a ridiculous notion. Again, you know, if you're going very purist about cutting out sugar, that means cutting out fruit, and it means cutting out dairy, and you know, you're not going to do that. It's a ridiculous notion. But also, we have to consider that we all like a bit of chocolate. We all like a Kit Kat. We all like wine. We all like some things that have got sugar in it. So personally, I am not ever going to recommend that somebody ever quit sugar, because I just think from a long-term approach, it's so restrictive, and that then can cause loads of other relationship with food challenges, which is not obviously the goal. So I think with sugar, it's just being mindful of what you are putting in your body. So if you are eating a shit ton of cereal, or you're eating loads of donuts and pastries and cakes and sweeties, then you maybe want to try and cut back somewhere, and also try and replace some of that with fruit. So even if it's, you know, dried fruit, and I know there's loads of you here that have done Slimming World, and you're like, oh, you're not allowed to eat dried fruit, sins, but you know, some dried apricots is going to be far more suitable for you than a packet of Haribo. All right, so we have to apply some common sense here. So if you've got to be careful as well, like if you're always reaching for sugary stuff because it's easy, it's maybe not the food that's the challenge, maybe it's the preparation that's the challenge. So do you have enough things readily available for you to snack on that's causing you to reach for the sugar when you don't? So look at what you can prepare. And you know, a very easy thing to have in your fridge is something like some yogurt mixed with some frozen berries and a grate and a chocolate on the top. You know, it's going to support your energy levels, it's going to support your health, and it's going to support your weight loss goals more than a Twix is going to do. So yeah. Thank you, Claire Manning. Claire Manning recommending the Lidl protein granola over the Aldi protein granola. Oh, bold move, Claire. Bold move. So, higher energy release foods are going to help stabilize those blood sugars, are going to stabilize that energy level. So things like, you know, pastas and rices. Whole grain options, yeah, they are more slow releasing. From a calorie point of view, there's not really an awful lot in it, to be fair with you. So, like, choosing whole grain foods over your white foods is to help manage energy levels rather than to manage calories. All right, so it's not going to be any different from a fat loss point of view. Other things to consider are trigger foods. So if you have, say for example, you have an Indian takeaway every week with your hubby, but that always then results in 10 bottles of Bud and crisps and chocolate or popcorn or snacks or whatever, then there's obviously a habitual element to that. That Indian takeaway is the trigger for all these things coming after. So if you are having issues with even hot flashes, for example, some people are triggered, their hot flashes are triggered by spicy foods or caffeine or alcohol, whatever. But from a weight loss point of view, bring it right back to that Indian takeaway and see if you can change it. See if you can have another type of meal or change the day or do something different on that day so that it breaks that behaviour and that pattern and that habit rather than, you know, trying to restrict yourself from the food. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Some other foods, I'm just going to some other notes that I've got, so I hope you can still see me. Your green leafy veggies are hugely important, and they are very important for a fat loss point of view as well as an estrogen point of view, because obviously you can eat a lot of volume of them for not an awful lot of calories and fill you up. I was reading quite a lot of research around things with magnesium in them. Now, magnesium is another supplement that you can take, but do your research, see if it works for you. Nuts, almonds, cashews, peanuts, whole grain rice. Just check my notes. Yeah, green leafy veg. Again, so magnesium is another thing that is actually, we're seeing quite a lot of results from clients and from in other environments. You know, magnesium is helping people feel more relaxed, sleep better, which again is hugely, hugely important. So yeah, that's really it. Happy hormones. Flax seeds is another one that becomes highly recommended. And soy, edamame beans, dried fruit, sesame seeds, berries, peaches. So in principle, your happy hormone foods as a balanced diet. There is no magic pill here. It's just making sure that you're getting a good mix of lean animal proteins, you're getting 5 portions of fruit and veg, you're getting good quality fats, and you're getting the right amount of calcium, magnesium and vitamin D. So it's all common sense and all stuff that I think probably everybody knows that they should be doing, but struggle to do it, and that's where the challenge is. So if you are if you are struggling to implement these things, you know, that's why we're here, absolutely. So if you are struggling, drop a little heart below, and we'll get Megan to reach out and give you some advice and point in the right direction or something that will help. And has anybody got any questions? Get your questions in now while I'm finishing up. What else? I can't think what else. So in summary today, if you've got anybody struggling in your friend group, family group, whatever, invite them into the group. That's what we're here for. Your happy hormone foods, balanced diet, look after yourself, maximise your sleep, get your supplements in. And if you are struggling with any of this, pop a heart in the comments. Megan's going to reach out and say hi. And that is it. The other thing, if anybody is interested in that 5 days of joy, because it's fun. They are fun. And I'm going to be doing them, I'm going to go back to basics with it as well. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and I've not done one in forever. So I'll probably forget half the stuff. So not only is it going to be fun, it's probably going to be quite humiliating as well. So feel free. So drop a yes in the comments if you want to participate in that 5-day course. Used to be called a challenge thing. Alrighty, I am out. No questions. Thank you, people. Another news. Somebody, on the topic of hormones, somebody had sent me a message asking if honey and cinnamon drinks were good for hormones, and no change. It's just a drink with honey and cinnamon. It's not gonna, probably won't do you any harm. But it's not gonna do much. Might taste a bit rank, although would it? Might try it and see what that's like. Okay, my lovelies, have an awesome evening. I'm away to make prawn stir fry for the bold Archie and I will speak to you all very soon. Take care. Bye bye.